Okay, today we're going to be taking a look at section views. A section view looks inside an object. Okay, we use section views so that we can easier see what is going on inside of a part. Sometimes it's very difficult, even with hidden lines, to see what is taking place inside that part. What we do is we take an imaginary plane and we cut through the part. Okay. Once we do that, the unwanted portion is mentally discarded, okay, and we're left with what that piece would look like if we took and cut it, in this case, in half. If you took a piece like this and cut it with a bandsaw, where the blade would touch the material, here's where you'll see your cutting plane lines, okay, these lines on an angle. Where the blade is passing through just air, okay, where there is no material there, then you'll see the voids here. Okay, section views are labeled as section AA, BB, CC, DD, whatever you want. Okay, and they're represented by a cutting plane line. Okay, here's an example looking at a object. This is an oil pan, okay, and it's very difficult, okay, using hidden lines to see exactly what is going on here. Okay, here we've taken and we made sections. We've taken section AA, we've cut this plane away and looked right inside of it, so now we can see on the front view exactly what that looks like. Okay, on the front view we took here and cut BB. Okay, that is being represented over here. So if we took and cut this away and looked at it there, and here is CC where we took and we cut it here and looked at it there, you can see that it's much easier to understand what is going on in this part between this one and this one. Okay, lines used in the section view. The cutting plane line shows where the object is being cut. Okay, we use a phantom line for this. Okay, usually we use a phantom line and it's a long dash, two short dashes, and a long dash. Sometimes we use short dashes for short distances. Okay, again, here is the cutting plane line. These arrows point to what is being kept. Okay, the section lines again show where it is being cut, the material. Okay, so if I look at something like this, I have this piece and I've cut it in half here. Notice the direction of the arrows. I'm looking at this portion right here, okay, which gives me this side view over here. So what I'm actually doing is I'm discarding this portion and then looking in the direction of the arrows. If I took and changed the arrows pointing this way, okay, notice now my view is on this side. Again, I take and I discard this portion and this is what I'm left with. Okay, when I'm drawing it, I don't discard it. Okay, I keep it like this so I can see it. Okay, section lines are used to indicate where the cutting plane cuts the material. The section line symbols are chosen according to the material of the object. Okay, this is used for cast iron, general use. This is steel, brass, bronze, copper, rubber, plastic, electrical insulation, zinc and lead, concrete. These are all standard symbols. Okay, AutoCAD has a whole bunch of symbols. Okay, everything from solid to cork, okay, to earth, brick. Okay, the most commonly used are ANSI 131, 132, and 133. Okay, it's cast iron or general use, steel, bronze, brass, and copper. I said ANSI 131. Okay, it's actually ANSI 31, 32, and 33. Okay, rules of sectioning. Rule number 1. A section-lined area is always completely bounded by a visible outline. Okay? Always, 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 you will see these lines all the way around. Okay, a common mistake is people will outline it and they will draw it like this. Okay, that is wrong. Okay, you always have a line, okay, between any of these areas. Okay, because you're looking through there. This would indicate two different parts. Rule number 2, the section lines in all areas should be parallel. Okay, section lines shown in opposite direction indicate a different part. Okay, so you would make sure that these lines are going here, and even those is separated down here, they need to go in the same direction. If they went in a different direction, that would indicate that this was a different material. Rule number 3, all visible edges behind the cutting plane should be shown. Okay, everything behind the cutting plane needs to be shown. Rule number 4, hidden features should be omitted in all areas of the section view. Exceptions include threads and broken up sections. Okay, if you notice here with my hidden line, there is a hidden line right going through here. Okay, when we cut through there, we will not see that hidden line. Notice there are no hidden lines in the section view. Of course, the only time that is not true is if you're showing a thread. Okay, basic sections. Okay, type of section used depends on the situation and what you need to see. The type of sections we have are full sections, half sections, offset sections, and a couple of others. Okay, create a full section. The cutting plane line passes fully through the object, okay, through here. Okay, again, one of the reasons we do this, okay, we cut a piece like this, is because there is no other way to show what this looks like or be able to dimension it. We can't dimension it here because we can't dimension hidden lines. Okay, so that's a full section. We're cutting it in half. Okay, then we have half sections. Okay, a half section is used mainly for symmetric objects. Okay, half of it is sectioned. Okay, one half is left in the round. Okay, on the section view, we put a center line. This one we leave unsectioned and no dotted lines, and then we show the section here. Okay, it is assumed that this side is the same as this one. Okay, so you'll see the arrow pointing this way and in. We're actually looking in that slice that we've cut out there. You can leave that arrow off, but we'll put it on. Okay, just like we said. Okay, an offset section is produced by bending the cutting plane line to show features that are not in the same plane. Okay, so here we want to show the dimensions of this hole, and we want to show this slot. Okay, well, instead of making two separate sections, okay, we'll make an offset section where we'll cut through this one, come there, and come through there. Okay, notice that in reality, if you did this, there would be a line right here where you cut. That is omitted. Okay, here's an example of each. Here is a half section. Okay, this indicates that it's steel. This is a full section. The section line indicates that's cast iron. This is an offset section. That indicates brass or bronze. Okay, advanced sectioning. Okay, align sections. In order to include angled elements in a section, a cutting plane line may be bent so that it passes through these features. This is a little confusing. Okay, if we cut through here, okay, we wouldn't be able to see if we just cut that away and turned and looked in here. Okay, we wouldn't be able to see the true length of this arm. It'd be foreshortened. So what we do is we align it. We take and we rotate this around. Okay, so it looks like this, but notice our section view looks as if this were straight. Okay, we usually do the same thing if we have holes. Okay, so the features are evolved onto the projection plane and then projected over. Okay, just like we're showing here. Okay, rib and web sections to avoid a false impression of thickness and solidity. Ribs and webs are not sectioned. Okay, so notice here we have a rib going through here. If we took and cut this, that rib would look like it was part of this whole object, which would be a little deceiving since it's only a thin part of the member. So we do not section it. Okay, if we're doing it long ways on a rib, we do not section it right here. Okay, if we cut across the rib though, we do section it. Okay. Okay, a broken section. Sometimes only a partial or broken out section is needed. Hidden lines are showing in the non-sectioned area of the broken section. Okay, so usually we put a break line similar to what we did on our thread that we drew. Okay, and then we show inside of it. Notice there's no cutting plane line, and this is not a section view, so we do show the hidden lines. Okay, remove section is one that is not in a direct projection view. Okay, so notice that these would line up 1, 2, 3 this way. Okay, looking at those sections, probably over here, 1, 2, 3 this way. Okay, instead, if we're short on room, we can take and, as we look at those sections, move one here, here, and here. Okay, just make sure that they are labeled, and it's usually normal to put the scale there as well. Okay, revolve section. The cross section of a shape of an object may be shown in the longitudinal view by means of a revolve section. Okay, so here we have a piece that's round here, hexagon there, and square there. Okay, so we can just show that section and revolve right in place. Okay, non-sectioned, it is common not to section bolts, nuts, rivets, shafts, and screws. Okay, we usually do not section those. Okay, we usually don't section extremely thin parts, less than 4 millimeters. Okay, you can either show them solid or without section line, like sheet metal, washers, and gaskets. Okay, here is a revolve section. Here is an align section. Okay, oops, here is remove sections. Here is a broken section. Creating section views in AutoCAD. Okay, the cutting plane lines are created manually by using the phantom line type. Okay, they're very thick and placed on their own layer. We did make a layer called phantom. Okay, or we call it a cutting plane, I guess. Okay, section line or hatches are generated automatically once a cut region has been selected. Okay, creating the cutting plane lines. The line is drawn to indicate where the part is to be cut. We then used a multi-leader command to indicate the arrows, okay, in the direction that we're going to look at. We'll be doing that in a few minutes. The arrowhead is usually larger than a dimension. We know the dimension arrowhead is 0.125. Okay, the angle and scale at which the hatches are drawn may be controlled by the hatch creation ribbon. We'll look at that in a minute. We'll see here, ask you for pick points, then it has all the standard patterns. Again, this is the most commonly used in C31. Okay, and we have other things that we can set here as well that we'll look at. Okay, once we have our drawing and we decide what we're going to section, we need to pick a boundary area. Okay, now the really neat thing about AutoCAD is it automatically finds the boundary for us. Okay, if this were a rectangle and we picked on the rectangle to draw it, our hatch lines, notice it would draw them through that hole. But if we picked inside here, AutoCAD will automatically look and see where all the boundary areas around where you picked were and create the appropriate section lines. Okay, what you have to watch is that there's no breaks. Okay, say this was not a complete circle, the section lines would go through that. Okay, we're going to go into AutoCAD and we're going to go to chapter 10 and we're going to make that drawing. And you're going to go to page 10-3 and you're going to draw that bearing. There's no sense in us going through that. The book does go through how to draw it in case you need the extra help. Okay, so I will let you go away and draw it and then come back when you are done. Okay, what we're going to draw first is we're going to draw our cutting plane line. I need to go and I need to change my layer to cutting plane. Okay, looking at the properties, the cutting plane line is a phantom line and it is 0.6 millimeters, so it's a large thick line. Okay, now I'm going to go into annotate and we're going to use our leader, okay, for our arrowhead. So I'm going to hit the down arrow here and go into multi-leader style manager. Okay, I'm going to make a copy of the standard, so I want to pick standard. Okay, and then I'm going to pick new. I'm going to make one. I'm going to call it cutting. I'm going to continue. Okay, here for the leader format, the size, I'm going to make this 180. We'll try 180, see how that looks. Okay, everything else should be the same. We don't have to worry about the text style because we're not using text. Okay, so I pick OK. Okay, make sure that I make cutting my current layer. Okay, again, my layer is cutting my current multi-leader. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to draw a line. Okay, and I'm going to start at the center, drag up a little bit, drag it straight down. So I have a nice even line there. Okay, so there is the beginning of my cutting plane line. Okay, I'm going to go up here to leader. Okay, when it asks me to pick, I'm going to right click and I'm going to pick options. Okay, I'm going to go to leader landing and I'm going to say no. Okay, then I'm going to pick exit. Now I need to put the beginning of the arrow first. So I'm going to drag it over here a little bit, then go back. Okay, and you'll see my line starting to form. Okay, then I can pick close text editor because I don't need any text there. Okay, I can then take this guy and then copy it down to here. Okay, so now I have my cutting plane line. If I turn on my thicknesses, okay, you'll see that I have a nice thick line there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're now going to create our section view on the side. Again, the arrows are pointing this way, so we're going to be looking in to the object this way. Okay, now it's going to be exactly the same as our side view, except these hidden lines are now going to become solid lines. Okay, and I'm going to show you a new way that we can pick those lines. We could go in here and pick them all separately, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-select everything. Okay, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go down to quick select. What quick select does is allows me to filter out. Okay, I can filter by color, line, layer, line type, scale, plot scale, line width, transparency. I can make it equal, not equal, greater, less than. Okay, I can do different layers. Okay, since this one are colors, this one is colors. Okay, so I can put that and I will filter out everything except what I'm picking here. So I'm going to pick a layer. Okay, and again you'll see that here's all my layers, and I'm going to just pick the hidden layer. I'm going to make sure it's included in my selection set. If I were doing the opposite, I could exclude it. Okay, but I want those objects to be picked, and I'll pick OK. So now you notice that only the hidden lines are selected. Okay, I can go up here now and I'll change them to my object layer. I hit escape and you can see that, okay, all those hidden lines have been changed into solid lines. Now we also, this line and this line, okay, which is the intersection here and here, since we're cutting through the middle, they're not going to be there anymore. So I'm just going to click on it, get the grip, I'll go here till it turns red, I'll click and hold it and drag it back to there, and then I'll do the same thing, click and hold it, drag it back to there. Okay, so now I'm ready to start my hatching. So I'm going to go up here to hatch. Okay, I'll get the new hatch pattern. You'll see the first thing I have here is pick points. Allows me to pick, or I can select an object if I want. Okay, here are my different types that I have here. Okay, and I've got all kinds of stuff. I have honey, okay, stars, zigzags. You can even make your own. Okay, I'm going to leave that, or pick. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to go to ANSI 31. Okay, now I can change the scale of it, I can change the angle of it. Okay, but I'm going to pick, and what I'm going to do is pick inside wherever I want the hatching. So I want it to be hatched here, 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 and here. Okay, now again, I could change it if I wanted it a different scale. I could change that. I could change the angle. Okay, that's pretty much what we want. So I'll pick close hatch creation. Okay, and now I have hatched my part. Okay, so you can see that it's very, very, very easy to do. Okay, I can then go to my layout view. Okay, we'll go up to layout, rectangular. You should be pretty good at this by now. Go up here to here. Okay, I'll pick the scale that I want. Okay, 1:1 is probably still going to be a little bit too big, maybe I might have to make it a half. Okay, I don't like a half either, it's kind of small, so maybe we'll try 1:1. There's not that many dimensions. Okay, and then what you're going to do is on page 1023 you are going to dimension this, and this is what you're going to turn into me. Okay, you're also going to make sure that you save this. We need this for the next section or the next chapter. Okay, that is it for sections.